Simon, thanks for coming and doing a bit of a demonstration with us today. And I'd like to know a bit about your work around status. So
Yes.
could you tell me a little bit of the theory there, and then we can get to some practice and actually doing some stuff around it as well?
Absolutely. It's a shortcut word, really. You may want to replace it with confidence or gravitas. You know, I think status just is a bit broader as a term, and what I mean by that is your personal status. So when you are communicating, when you're listening, in whatever context where you're interacting with people, you bring, whether you like it or not, a certain presence or level of impact, and that's often dictated to by your personal status, which is a mix of what you say and the way you say it and your body language. And we often talk about it on a scale of 1 to 10. It's quite fun when you do the exercise, by the way. It's just gets you into something very quickly and gives you instant feedback. So 1, 2, 3 would be low status for this exercise, and that will all be showing itself in your body language and what you're saying and what you're not saying. So for example, the words you might be using might be apologizing or undermining what you're saying.
Okay.
Those filler words.
Being sorry.
Apologies. I won't take too long.
Okay.
Take up too much of your time.
Right.
Just a small thing, but I was wondering if, and maybe speaking too quickly, repetitive, and your body language would be lower demeanor, tone quite quiet, quite flat, and then if you come up to about a 5, it's maybe a little bit more conversational, a bit more confident, but not overbearing.
Right, so quite balanced.
Quite balanced, just a conversation, perfectly comfortable, but not pushing too hard. And then there may be a time when, you feel that you need to up your status, let's say an 8 or a 9. 10 is interesting because, you could say, is that going into arrogance?
Right.
It doesn't have to be. So it's quite interesting, and that just would be again in your demeanor, your tone, probably a slower pace, clearer.
When we're talking about this, though,
assertive.
Simon, is it about my role in the workplace or sort of my seniority?
No.
Has it got something to do with that?
No, it doesn't. Interestingly, I don't think it matters where you are in a company structure.
Yeah.
You can still hold yourself appropriately to a level of status. And I think the art is, for me, someone who's emotionally intelligent, knows when it's time to lift their status, because actually people need to feel confident about what that person's communicating. They're making some pretty key decisions, and they've got to come across with a certain level of assertiveness. But likewise, as a leader, I think it's absolutely appropriate that we lower it. And that we show a little bit more of a humble side of ourselves. We're not the expert. Someone else, perhaps who's less confident than us, it would be beneficial to them if we lowered our status to help them feel more confident.
Okay.
And what I've found when I say about emotional intelligence is that some people who are really stuck very high, never knowingly lacking confidence at all, it can be grating. It could become overplayed, as I've talked about before in other sessions, overplaying yourself, and it just switches people off because they don't seem to have any ability to flex and be different. And you kind of feel it off people, but it is that blend of non-verbal and verbal.
Okay, so, and it feels like you're going to present to me some kind of dial that I can adjust to go up and down. Is that where
I
we're
need
going?
to be a 7. I need to be an 8. I mean that's very mathematical and very, very kind of like, it's not particularly subtle, but it's a good gauge quickly in your mind. And what we tend to do is do an exercise where I might sort of ask someone, get people to consider the theory. Now let's just give it a go, and I'd like all of you to aim for an 8.
Okay. Is everybody's 8 the same though?
No, not.
Right.
That's the interesting thing. So my version of what I think I'm being at a level 8, which is fairly high status, may hit the mark for the people listening and sort of watching me, or it may not. And that's instant feedback. So I know quite often I'll say, aim for an 8, and someone will give it a good go. And then the feedback is, Yeah, it was good. It wasn't an 8. It was probably more of a 5. And then the key thing is, what's the evidence? What it is that you are hearing? And so someone might say, well, I noticed that when you were communicating, you used ers quite a lot, or you were quite quick, or you were looking down a lot when you were speaking. You were quite quiet. I noticed you held your hands sort of at the front of you. You weren't using your hands. So I sensed you may be feeling a little more vulnerable.
And this is stuff that you're saying to the participant, and you're also getting
Other
views
people.
from around the room,
Yeah.
if we've got a room full of
And,
people.
it's not, I say good enough, to say that was good, or that was pretty confident, or be more confident.
You've got to pick out the
It's got to
thing
be
that
the
was
specific
making it that.
behaviours, and it could be verbal, non-verbal, what is said, what isn't said, the pause, and then people go, oh, and you might have another go.
Right.
Let's
Well,
give
it sounds
another
great,
go.
Simon. Could we have a go? Could we have a
Yes,
go here? Right.
absolutely. So I'm going to give you a subject.
Okay.
Okay, so you just have to speak off the cuff, and I'm going to ask you to be an 8.
An 8. Quite
Your
high.
version. Just
Yep.
don't feel you have to pretend to be anything. It's not an act or a performance. It's simply, I'm going to aim for that slightly higher status.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to talk about going on holiday.
Holiday. Well, holidays are great, aren't they? When you've worked all year round, going on holiday can give you a bit of headspace. It can refresh and rejuvenate you, spend time with family and friends. And yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about holidays, really. Everybody should take one if they can afford it, and if they've got time to take a holiday.
Great, thank you. So it'd be interesting if we had a few people in the room. So I will only go from what I thought. I thought, and it's difficult because I know you, but if we didn't know each other, I would say that's pretty close to an 8. It was thoughtful. It was articulate. It wasn't too quick. It was measured. You said what you needed to say, no more, no less, which was great. There was something perhaps a bit quieter in your tone. I'd have to play around with this with you, but to see if you could bring a little bit more energy,
more volume,
more energy, more volume, a bit more sort of drive.
Yes,
just
yeah.
a little bit, not
Yeah.
overplaying. That might have hit it more.
Okay.
So I think what my summary would be is the words, the pace, great. Was there anything you could do with your voice? Because we talk
Okay.
about body
Yep.
language, voice, and content. And of course, with this, it's about marrying all three, so they're aligned.
Okay.
The moment I say something like, "I'm really, really confident," doesn't matter what I'm saying.
There's
We
a dissonance
believe-
between
yeah,
how you're
because
looking
we
and how
always
you sound.
believe the unspoken
Right.
first. We're hardwired to read that. So it is about alignment. But I thought that was pretty good. But the great thing about this kind of exercise is I would then challenge you, do a bit more, and then I think it would click. You go, now I feel it. Now I'm feeling it's appropriate. So that's the technique we might use. And then I would say, okay, let's transpose it into a real scenario. You've
Okay.
tried it out.
Yeah.
Because someone might come to me or come to my colleagues saying, I just feel I need to be more confident when I'm chairing meetings or presenting. So, well, let's put it onto something now. You've got the technique, let's give it a go. And then off we go.
Should we try something along those lines, or
Yeah, have
what
you got
would be-
something in mind?
Well, something that I deal with when I'm chairing a meeting, perhaps, is just giving the tone, setting the tone of the meeting. So I guess at that stage, I want to feel in control, and I want to feel like my status is quite high. And then maybe later on in the meeting, I want to come back and let other people talk. So I'm really taken with that idea of shifting it.
Absolutely.
Wherever I am, can I go to another level
Yeah.
quite quickly or quite snappily? Can I just move to a different number?
Yeah, and calibrating in a way that meets the needs of the people in the room.
Yeah.
When you said tone, I want to set the right tone. What do you mean by that?
So not overly aggressive or not with too high a volume, and also not very quiet and relaxed. So quite high energy. maybe along the lines that I was trying to give with that 8. You know, if I'm trying to set
So
that.
have you got some, just I'd say random words, but some sentences we can start with?
Sure,
Just
sure.
imagine
So
you're
say,
doing that. So be your 8. Try to hit what you need to hit.
okay. I'd say something like, welcome everybody, I'm really pleased you could all be here, and we've got a packed agenda, so I'm going to crack on with that. Just in case anybody wants to know what we're here for today, and then I'd give the title of the meeting or...
Time out.
Okay.
Excellent. That was great. And again, I could really feel your passion there and the fact that you cared.
I want the meeting to work. I think
Want to
that's the
work
thing.
and feel that. I feel there's quite a lot of, I'm feeling not you're battling, but you don't feel so relaxed. Now, that's understandable. We all have our ways, and I'm equally like that sometimes myself. So I want you now to shift to a 10.
Okay.
And I want good energy and purposeful. And I'll tell you, it may well be way over the top, but I'd rather bring you down.
Right.
But I feel like, I tell you what I feel like you're doing. I feel like you're holding something back. It feels a bit constrained. Like I want to be in charge of this process. But at the same time, I don't want to tread on anyone's toes. So I'm sort of contained. So let's give it a go.
Okay. Right, so I'd say welcome everybody, and it's great to see you all here. Thanks for being here. I know it's a busy week for everybody.
Okay, slow down, but keep the energy.
And I would just like to point out that we are going to stick to time in this meeting, and we've got an action-packed agenda. We're going to get down through those items quite quickly, but I want everybody to have their say and feel heard. So
nice, that was nice. That felt stronger. I noticed words like quite quickly, just would like. If it was more assertive, it would be more like thank you everyone. So today what we're going to be working on is this. Here's the agenda, and I'd really appreciate it if people would stick to that. Very happy to open up for questions, but I think we need to stick on this. I mean, that's just me playing around with status. So one more go, and then we'll bring it to a close.
Okay.
This is a strange request. Be relaxed, but be much more punchy. Slow right down. Say only what needs to be said. Okay, go for it. Imagine you're gonna make sure that you're in charge.
hi everyone, great to see you, and we're just past the hour, so I'm going to kick off the meeting now. And just to point out, we've got an action-packed agenda, and I do want to keep to time today, whilst making everybody feel heard.
That's great. Just one little thing. I'd like you to really stress some words. We've got an action-packed agenda, and I want to make sure that everyone is heard.
Okay,
So pause between words it places. Don't throw it away.
Righto. Hi everyone, welcome. I'm really pleased to see you all. We have got an action-packed agenda today, and I want to make sure that we're going to stick to time, and also that everybody's going to be heard in this meeting. Is that okay with everyone?
Is that okay with everyone? I love that. So hold that. I loved it. It felt stronger. I love the way you sort of gave it away at the end and said, is that okay, everyone? It's a bit like I see in presentations, people go, and that's why we need to rally and rally now. Right, that's me. And they sort of take away all
Right, so
the
I've
work.
changed, but I've changed in such a stark way
Absolutely.
that I've
Just
undermined myself. Yeah.
Hold it.
Okay.
Now, I know we're being mechanical. I know we're just playing around. We want to make it natural. But I thought that might be a useful exercise. For real, we're doing it for real, in the moment. And my just picking up on a few things and adjusting.
Thank you, Simon. I found it very useful just in those short rehearsals or short takes that we did there. The ability to rewind and start again, I absolutely loved, and I felt lucky to have that. I wish I could do it in a real meeting and just press rewind.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great?
But thank you, Simon, just in that short time. Thank you for introducing us to the subject of status and talking about some of the nuance in there, and also giving us something that we can play with ourselves and take away. It's really good of you.
My pleasure. Thank you.